Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day,
Yes!
you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by VanguardSportsLeagues.com. The Gators took down the Mississippi State Bulldogs last night, winning their final home game of the season 108-74. Alex Condon was the Gators' top scorer with 26 points, and Ruben Chinilu had another double-double with 11 points and 16 boards. They close out the regular season Saturday at Kentucky, tipping off at 4 p.m. 74 degrees at 4:01 time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
10XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Frank, Hayes, and JJ. Hit it! It's time for the Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome in. Glad you're along for the ride. Frangie, Carline, RJ Saunders with you. The new drug today is not a good one. It's a bad drug.
Really?
Devastating loss for JU today.
Oh, yeah, that was heartbreaking.
So I'm at the game, okay? So I was there, and I'm watching JU. JU loses to Bellarmine in the first round of the ASUN. UNF plays West Georgia tonight. Hopefully one of our teams can win. Boy, JU played hard.
Dug out of a tough early hole.
Down 19, and it looked like they were going to get blown out. They go to the half, come out, and lights out. They go on a 19-1 run. So they take a lead. So let me tell you how it ended. And you probably followed the story, Smitter's story or something, but I'm there, and it was gut-wrenching. So JU, and if JU can keep some of these young guys together, now it's hard with mid-majors, but they have a pretty good team. I told you they really played well in that UNF game last week that I was at. So I'm watching today. They're playing at UNF Arena. They go up 79-76 and get an offensive foul on Bellarmine, get the ball back with a minute. 79-76, minute to play, the lead in the ball. All right. So they bring it up.
And all the momentum.
Careless turnover. Again, they got a lazy pass. Bellarmine picks it off, lays it up with 40 seconds or so. JU inbounds. Now it's a 1-point lead in the ball. They bring it down 20 seconds. Get fouled. Chris Lockett, who's a really good player and had a really good game. He's the main reason they were in it. One of the two reasons they were in it. 1-and-1, 20-some-odd seconds ago. Misses the front end. I mean, in a rattled in and out front end. One of the Jordan, one of the big guys for JU, gets his hand on it. Looks like he's going to get an offensive rebound. Goes off his hand out of bounds. Okay, so they turn it over up 79-76, layup for Bellarmine. They come down up 1, fouled, 20-some-odd seconds, in and out. JU gets their hand on it, goes out of bounds. Bellarmine comes down. JU falls asleep defensively, wide open dunk. Bellarmine takes the lead with
14 seconds left.
Yeah. Bellarmine takes the lead with 14 seconds left. JU inbounds. Length of the court, runs a great offensive set. Hayden Wood, again, their two best players are Lockett and Wood. Both made a bunch of threes. Again, one scored 23 today, one scored 22. They get it to Wood. Great play design. Turnaround jumper from about 8 feet, right in front of the basket. Back of the iron. Bellarmine rebounds with 2 seconds, foul, ball game. They make the 2 free throws and desperation shot. I mean, it couldn't be more gut-wrenching. And the one thing about we talked about this. The one thing about every level of football and college basketball, it's over, buddy. It's over. I'm telling you, it felt a little bit like the Bills game. That I felt like if JU didn't match up well with Bellarmine because they played a lot of zone, and it's a good zone. It's the old Syracuse zone. It's really good. And I was talking to Alex Ricker-Gilbert, the AD, today. Said if we can get by this one, the way JU's playing, they match up really well with everybody else. And gut-wrenching loss, and then it's over. It's a one-bid league, so that's it. That's it. There's no. Well, we'll get it at large. You're not going to the NIT. That's it. So that's simple, and I felt so bad for those. I mean, give Bellarmine kids credit too. They won. They fought hard and deserved to win. But Hayden Wood, who's such a good player, and had such a good game. He and Lockett kept him in it. Lockett missed the front end of the 1-and-1 after playing so well today. And Wood, who's such a good player, hits the back of the iron on an 8-footer, which is not a layup, by the way. I don't want to make it sound like he blew a layup. It was an 8 to 10 foot jumper, a turnaround jumper. Those aren't easy, but it was right in front of the basket, hits the back of the iron, and Bellarmine wins. So Bellarmine goes on to win. But I'm telling you, Hayes, it was they played hard. They battled back. They didn't quit when they were down 19. It was a fantastic basketball game. A bunch of lead changes in the last minute and a half, and then JU goes down 82 to 79 to Bellarmine after leading 79-76 with a minute to play.
Did you think from watching it live, was fatigue a factor? That's sort of a cliche in basketball, but it's a cliche because it's sort of true. Like you dig yourself such a big hole and you're able to, I mean, JU did take a 72-67 lead. Do you think it was just a matter of they just sort of ran out of gas?
It's a great question. I didn't feel that, though, but it's a great question because that's what we see. It was back and forth. I mean, it was a physical game. Both teams played a very physical way. They were both tired, but it wasn't fatigue down the stretch. Chris just missed the free throw. I think Chris Lockett would tell you he wasn't tired. It just bounced in and out. And Hayden Wood, I mean, he didn't miss it short. He missed it off the back of the iron. A lot of times when you have no legs, you miss short. He missed it off the back of the iron. So I didn't sense that it was fatigue. It was just, listen, it was two pretty evenly matched teams in a game that was back and forth the whole time. And when one team made one more play, and you know if any of the mistakes didn't happen, JU probably wins the game. If they don't turn the ball over, they're up 3 with the ball, and they were going to run some more clock because Bellarmine had fouls to give, which you don't want. Bellarmine was going to have to foul 2 or 3 times to get JU to the line. Well, the clock runs every 4 or 5 seconds every time you have to do that. So if they don't turn it over there, they're probably okay. If Lockett hits the first free throw, if he makes the 2, you're okay. And if Hayden Wood makes the little turnaround, then you're up 1 with 2 or 3 seconds. Well, about 4 or 5 seconds to play. Bellarmine would have had to race downfield and make a race down court and make it dramatic. But anyway, it was a fantastic game to watch.
I wonder why they got out to such a slow start. That's surprising with it being here and everything. You would have thought that they'd have had more energy.
It was weird. It was Bellarmine plays JU is under Jordan Mincy. They shoot it better than they ever have, but they're never going to be a shooting team. That's not who they are. So they're a cutting, driving, take your guy team. So a zone is always going to work against them better. A team that's good at zone. And I think even though they knew what was coming, they had to get adjusted to it. So I didn't sense a lack of energy as much as stuff wasn't going in, and Bellarmine's balls were going in. So, but anyway, they rallied from behind. And you asked a great question. A lot of times when you come all the way back, even though you've caught the game, you're out of gas because it did not feel like that because it's not like they came back at the end of the game. They took that lead with a number of minutes to play. So, but it was again, congratulations to Bellarmine. They deserved to win, but it was a really tough loss for JU. So, but nonetheless, JU, their season ends. It's a good young team if they can keep them together. So I hope UNF can win tonight. The hope was they both win and they both keep playing. And all of a sudden they play in a tournament game here in Jacksonville. That would have been really cool. JU's out, and I hope UNF, by the way, split with West Georgia, who they played tonight. They beat them up there and lost here, which is weird. So they split with West Georgia with both teams winning on the road. And hopefully, if UNF loses tonight, I would hate both teams to be out on day 1 of the tournament. So, but we'll see. We'll see what winds up happening nonetheless. But it was a fun game to attend, and they played hard. And I was there. The game was at noon today. And so I was glad I was able to watch that game. So we'll certainly, I will talk a little bit more about that as we go. The Gators, what is there to say? Here's how good they are. They're down 10. They're down 10 in the first half. I figured they'd win by 30. Now, they won by 34, but I'm not making this up. I'm watching them down. Did you say this?
I was never nervous.
Well,
even with them not having Thomas out.
Yeah. Not only was I not nervous, it's not like I thought they'd find a way to scrap back in it and find a way to win. I thought they'd blow them out. It's a weird feeling. It really is. Somebody took a picture today of Steve Spurrier and Todd Golden together, and someone said, I think Chris Harry quote tweeted it and said they're very similar. I can tell you, there's times the Gators, the Spurrier Gators, in the really good years, the mid '90s years, the Spurrier Gators would be down 13-3, and my guess is they're going to win 51-20. Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
You almost chuckled about it. And so I felt that way last night. So again, look, it only takes one loss and you're out. I get it, But good luck beating those. Honest to God, good luck beating those guys.
Well, and I think it was really beneficial for Florida that they were able to have the luxury of sitting Thomas Houck, who probably would have played had the game had some consequence to it. He is dealing with a very minor ankle injury, and Golden said he'll be fine for Saturday's game at Kentucky. But I think it was good for them to go through, okay, let's work through what's going to happen if we lose one of our key players. And so obviously it was a little rough for the first 10 minutes. And then here comes freshman Ingram, and hits a couple of threes. And it's amazing how this team gets a lift from the most unlikely of places. And it's just been a consistent theme. Brown's become a fantastic eighth man. Last night, obviously, everybody had to get moved up a notch because Houck was out.
He was the seventh man.
And here comes CJ Ingram, who just, absolutely gave them a fantastic lift. And, he hit a couple threes, basically not consecutive possessions, but very close together. And from that point on, okay, here comes the buzzsaw. And Mississippi State had to endure it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, again, I'll say this and they'll lose. And, listen, they won the national championship last year. They were an eyelash from losing in the second round to an 8 seed. So it can happen. They barely beat an 8 seed last year on their way to a national title. And if one or two plays, if Alex Caravan makes that last shot last year, well, then they don't even make the Sweet 16 and they look like frauds, right? They shut down Caravan, they beat him, and they won the national title. That's how close this stuff is. So believe me, I know anything can happen, but I'll say it again, this is the Nebraska 95 football team. They just maul people. You don't keep winning 34-point games. You don't do that. You don't keep winning 34-point games. I don't care who you're playing. I know Mississippi State's not a great team, but Arkansas is pretty good, and they beat them both by 34, so it's interesting. So, all right, we got a lot of things to talk about today. Sports and Courts today with Brett Hastings. Interesting. Cincinnati is fighting back against Brendan Sorby. Did you see the story? Mm-hmm. I love this. I love the establishment fighting back. I got a lot of thoughts on it, but Brett's going to weigh in. What does that mean? Where does he think that thing's going to go? Does Cincinnati have a leg to stand on? So that comes up in a bit. Our friend Mike Fleming stops by from the Firewatch. They've got their military job fair going on at the Players on Saturday. Can't wait to see Mike. He's one of the good people out there, and he's trying to help people, and he'll come in and talk a little bit about that military job fair and what that means. We'll talk a little bit about Gator basketball. We'll talk a little bit about the ASUN being here. Interesting trade between the Rams and the Chiefs I want to get your take on. I got some thoughts on where we're trending on some of these trades, and I want to run that by you, some thoughts on that. World Baseball Classic starts today, by the way. You realize that?
Oh, that's cool.
Team USA doesn't play till Friday, but the Classic starts today. I got a lot of thoughts on that. So we got a lot of stuff to do. We're glad you're with us on this Wednesday. Our Wednesday is always brought to you by our friends from Coyle & Sons Fence Company. The best fence company around is always Coyle & Sons. We sure do appreciate them. Let's start with Sports and Courts. That's next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
1010XL covers the Players' Championship start to finish. Track your favorite golfers and get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Greenacre Sporting Goods, Performance Painting, and Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
All right, Jacksonville, Florida summer doesn't ease in. It shows up angry. One day you're fine. The next day your AC is fighting for its life. If your unit barely survived last year, don't push your luck. Make the smart move now. Call Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Honest pricing, no surprise markups. With the Beat the Heat early special, you can save $500 off a new AC system. Don't wait till it's 98 degrees and everyone's scrambling. Call for your free in-home estimate today. 904-862-6769 or duckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
When you're hungry, go big, and more importantly, go to Dailies, where they got anything and everything to tantalize your taste buds and fill you up. At Dailies, our barbecue beef brisket sandwich is slow smoked to perfection, tender, juicy, and full of bold flavor. It's the kind of sandwich that truly satisfies. Try the barbecue brisket sandwich at Dailies. Meanwhile, some favorites never go out of style. The Duval sub at Dailies is stacked, loaded, and made with the bold flavor you want in every bite. Fresh ingredients, big taste. It's a local favorite. Grab the Duval sub today at Dailies. Or maybe you just want a delicious chicken sandwich. Some choices just work. The chicken sandwich at Daly's is crispy on the outside, it's juicy on the inside, and it is full of flavor. Perfect for lunch, perfect for dinner, perfect anytime hunger hits. So grab the chicken sandwich today at Daly's. Daly's is made fresh, it's made local, and Daly's is built for big appetites. I'll see you there today.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
For nearly 60 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard has been Jacksonville's trusted name for the outdoors. From archery to hunting and fishing and more, their expert staff helps you get it right the first time. Right now, stop in and try the newest bows by Hoyt and Matthews and get dialed in before spring. Gear up today at greenacresporting.com.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Got a dent or a scratch that needs fixing? San Jose Collision in Mandarin offers expert auto body repair and works with all insurance. Family owned and locally trusted. San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus, straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Now time for Sports and Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
Brett Hastings joins us now. It's we're here to talk about stuff other than Gator basketball. What do you think of the Gator basketball? Did you go down Saturday?
I did.
How was it?
It was electric atmosphere, and it's probably the most relentless college basketball team I've ever seen.
It's unbelievable. You and the Hastings boys? You and the Hastings boys?
Two of the Hastings boys decided to watch it at Mac Denton's, which is the old Porpoise. They evidently sell tickets, and that's what they wanted to do.
To the game?
Reed wanted to go, yeah, and I went with a friend. Yeah.
Okay.
The youngest Hastings was kind of down there on his, quote, college visit. So Hunter took him out, and kind of big men on the town. So,
love it.
And that's when I think I texted you guys. Dad got home at 1 o'clock, went straight to bed. Dad got up at 7 and sees a picture from those two with Tommy Houck,
which is awesome.
Yeah, which was
it's
really
cool that your
awesome.
sons are buddies with all those. I know they're buddies with Aberdeen last year. They're buddies with all the players. With Urban, I know, which is cool. So I want to get to Sports and Courts here. I like this. I'm for the players. I'm not an anti-player guy, but I've been asking you for 2 months. How does the establishment fight back? Which I think we have to have.
Right.
And it now looks like this story, Cincinnati is suing Brendan Sorby, he's the quarterback, for breach of contract, a multi-million-dollar 2-season NIL deal that he signed in 25 where number one, I'm going to ask you big picture in a minute. Where is this headed? But for specifically this case, tell us about it. What's going to happen?
So I went ahead and pulled the actual complaint, and so what they've done here, and I can tell the strategy, and I think it's incredibly smart for the University of Cincinnati. And I've got a feeling that there are a lot of people that were weighing in on this, right? I don't think this is just about Cincinnati. Right. I think they've probably talked with the conferences and everybody else. They filed this lawsuit in the Southern District of Ohio. Okay. See, so many of these other cases, the player cases, where are we seeing those? We see those in state court.
Right. One
of the reasons is that state court, as a general rule, okay, it's much tougher for somebody to get summary judgment.
Yeah.
It's probably not as draconian. Okay. So it's interesting here. The plaintiffs, a lot of times, us as plaintiffs, lawyers, we're in a big trucking case, anything, we're going to do everything we can to try to keep those cases in state court. We think it's ultimately better for the client. It's going to bring more value. Here, Cincinnati chose to file in federal court. And I think it's clear after reading the complaint why. They have got a one-count breach of contract case. They're not trying to get into too much else in the way of facts as it relates to it, and have a very clear, simple, straightforward legal theory here. And it's because in federal court, right, that tends to be able to, you could win at summary judgment. And if not, I think as they have this, framed, there's not much in the way of a defense from Brandon Sorsby. What they say in the complaint that the listeners would be interested by, he signed this deal. It was an 18-month, 2-year deal with an expectation that he would play each of those years. Said if he wanted to get out of the deal, and this is probably the weakest part for Cincinnati, but I still think it's fine, is that he could, if he wanted to change the deal, he would have to deal with them exclusively in good faith. They allege that there was no dealing as it relates to it, but they defined a breach as essentially going into the portal, leaving, or going somewhere else. And what they had done, and I think this is something we had talked about a couple of times when you guys say, well, what are the damages, or how does it work, or what goes on in contracts? And I told you about liquidated damages. And so in here, they went into great detail in the agreement, which they don't have here. They reference and say that the parties agreed that the liquidated damages are $1 million and that those should be paid 30 days after the breach. So December the 15th, I guess they allege in here, he decides to go in the portal, says he's gone, doesn't have anything else to do with them. And 30 days go by. They say, hey, where's the $1 million? They said, we're not going to pay you $1 million. There's nothing in the complaint. And given this is from Cincinnati's viewpoint, we haven't seen an answer. We haven't seen, anything alleged from them. But they say essentially they didn't do anything as it relates to it. Now, more likely than not, that's going to be the measure of damages, right? They prevail, it's going to be $1 million. But they did go on in their complaint to say, the parties agreed to this. This appeared to be fair. There weren't a lot of knowns, but you know what? That's probably a lot lower because it appears that Brendan Sworsby was able to get $4 to $6 million on the open market. As a general rule, you're not going to go and get that, right?
Right.
But I think that was sort of, just an argument that they wanted to go out there and to float. But it's just simply a, clear, straightforward breach of contract. They go into some of the other things to say, look, we wanted his name, image, and likeness. He brought up, the university on a national scale. He got us to 7-5. We thought we were going to have another big year, so they were staying away from the quote employee argument, right? Like not to play and trying to style it for the name, image, and likeness. But all of the relief that they seek is only, a lot of times, and especially in commercial or business litigation, we'll see like multiple counts: fraud, negligent misrepresentation, breach of contract, interference with contract, several different things. But here it's clear. They said, let's take the one winner argument. Let's be clear and straightforward in the complaint. There's not a lot of sports litigation when we come in here that it's only an 11-page complaint. And anybody knows anything about legal stuff, 6 pages are sort of cut and paste to put in the elements. So in about 5 pages, they were clear, they were straightforward, and said, hey, liquidated damages, the measure of damages is $1 million. He breached it. He's not here. He's not performing the rest of the contract. He owes it to us.
How do you think the player's attorney will fight it?
I think this was a lot of agent advice and not necessarily, from the lawyer. I think he's going to come back They're probably going to say, we tried to work with them in good faith. They didn't work with us, because that was a condition precedent to going out and to going on. It if you're going to play the facade that you're going to get the $4 and $6 million, from them for name, image, and likeness, it's a relatively clear and straightforward, breach.
Are we headed to enforceable buyouts for these players the way we have with coaches? Because that's what I my gut tells me.
Right.
But with coaches, the buyouts are enforceable. If you hire a coach, if the coach leaves, he owes the team a lot of money. Are we headed toward enforceable buyouts with players, in your opinion?
I do. And, one of the things that they do allege in here, it's just a short little paragraph, is that they say, we believe this was contemplated in his new contract.
Right.
Right? Like, hey, I'm going to owe them $1 million, so you better give me $1 million more on my own contract. Okay. Is that a per se buyout clause? It's not. Okay. He's saying, I'm not going to pay you. I'm going to make you essentially come after me, file this lawsuit or what have you. So, that is what it is. I mean, would they try to argue what Sorsby would try to argue? And I'd have to think about it some more to figure out what it is. And I think the lawyers are going to have to think long and hard, to answer Hayes' question is, you're going to have to say they breached first, right? Somehow before it. But I don't really know how they could have, in this situation.
I wanted to get your thoughts on a different matter. So indulge me for a second. Do you have something else on?
If we're going to move on, I want to go back here. We'll get to that in a second. But I want to stay on this just for a second before, and then Hayes will get to his thing. But I want to know: will we ever see a day where okay, you're a great quarterback, and I'm Texas Tech with all this oil money, so even though you were making 1.5 at your school, I'm going to pay you 6. Okay, but I can't because the school had already signed a deal to you. Said I'll pay you 1.5, but if you leave, you owe me 10 or whatever.
Right.
Will that work? Because I want to see it stop. You see, I want to see this every year. So coaches sometimes don't leave because the numbers are so big.
That could potentially be legally enforceable. Not to be a broken record in here, but I think we still got to get to that point of employees, being employees, and then you would structure it the same way they would on air talent at 1010XL or at ESPN or anywhere else. You can have covenants not to compete. You could say that you can't go to certain people. You can have the liquidated damages or have the buyout clause, and then it's fine. You could go and have other notice requirements, right? Like in this case, they went to him on December 15th. He said, hey, I'm not even playing here anymore. So he's out of the Liberty Bowl. He doesn't go to, any of the other things that in fairness, again, it goes back to this. It was a pay for play. And we all know that, right? But he wasn't even seeing it through, right, on the first year, much less the next year, right? Which I would say would be a potential other.
But I even think this one is beyond pay for play. The contract simply says, I'm going to pay you for 2 years and $1.5 million. But if you leave, you owe me 7. I'd like to see, and I'd like to see more of those.
Right. No, and I think the parties agree to it. And one of the things that they point out in this is he had representation. Yeah. He has an agent. He has the financial ability to go and to be fully represented and to fully understand what he's agreeing to. And so that's one of the big things, right? For your scenario to say, hey, you got to pay the $10 million. You got to go do that. Right. It doesn't mean it has to be a good deal. Right. It just has to be a legally enforceable deal.
And the Washington quarterback has to stay at Washington because he had that deal.
Right.
And that's why he wanted to.
And what really happened with Mensa, right?
Yeah.
Was that an informal buyout?
Yeah.
Did the parties work, amongst themselves? Yeah, I would think more likely than not. What I think is they want precedent out of this. You got a clear contractual issue, and they're going to say, hey, let's go in and do this. And then if these contracts start being strictly construed in federal court in these other areas, then you're going to see less of the movement, right? Where guys are going to pay the $1 million.
And that's the idea. Go ahead.
I was just curious to get your thought, and I'm catching you off guard with it. So just, I know you may need more time, but just off the top of your head, what did you make of the state of Mississippi passing a law basically saying that Mississippi athletes at Ole Miss and Mississippi State will get their NIL tax-free? There's no lawsuit yet involved in that, but wouldn't pretty much any other person be able to sue the state with the argument of, well, why should I have to pay taxes on my income if these athletes getting NIL money don't?
State taxes.
State taxes. Yeah, I mean, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's, it goes back to why we got to have a national, solution, as it relates to it. Who's really going to necessarily step up to do that in the state of Mississippi? Would sort of be the question. That would be long, protracted, legislation as it goes to it. You probably could be successful on that. You have to have certain types of measures when the government goes and puts things into place, right? Like there's a number of different balancing tests that we have in the law, is to say, hey, this is why you want to go do it. But, it's kind of scary. So you go and litigate that in state court. I don't know how great that argument is against Mississippi juries that are typically Ole Miss Rebel fans, or what have you. But I think it's one more piece in the puzzle of trying to continue to push, these things forward as they go.
Yeah.
And I think if we define them as employees, then it renders it moot on day one.
Yeah,
but I don't think that you're going to see states and other places around the country wanting to cut tax breaks to multimillionaires at a state level.
Well, one sidebar to Hayes' question. Yeah, okay. So all of a sudden, the state of Louisiana says if you get NIL money, we're not going to pay state tax. Well, why doesn't Lane Kiffin say, okay, wait a minute, then why am I having to pay state tax? That's your point,
right?
Yeah, or any other,
the plumber or nurse or teacher.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it's
but what it's saying to you is, I think it should be challenged. I think somebody can be challenged, but that would be something that would go on for a long time. That wouldn't be something that would be quick, as it gets to resolution. But when the government, okay, and I mean, obviously, pandering to college football teams on this level, it's not something that we want our state government doing, but there is very broad protections for the government when they pass things. What you have to go is you have to determine, is it unconstitutional? Is it a violation of equal protection, right? Or is everybody similarly situated? And that's where the challenge, right, would be as you go forward in that. But what you see a lot of times on these challenges is I'd probably fail at the state court level because it's a political issue and you might have to run that all the way up, to a Supreme Court or whatever and say, look, this is not based in, truly the best interests and this fails under this balancing test. But that's something that conservatively is the type of litigation that takes 2 to 6 years to complete. So that's what I would want the listeners to know.
To our original topic, I will say, I hope Brendan Sorsby has to pay Cincinnati $1.5 million or whatever it is. I hope they have to, because I hope we got to get. I like the fact that the establishment's fighting back. I've been saying that for a month, and I'm glad that they're.
Well, you want to know what's good for Seminole fans and Gator fans? Yeah. There's never been any state income tax here, man, and it is an advantage, and they should use it.
And that's why they cited it in Mississippi. They said we're recruiting against other schools and other states that don't have a state income tax.
Yeah, and by the way,
but it still just seems like you couldn't, you can't decide to tax somebody one thing and then tax somebody else nothing.
Right. Yeah, and that's why it in theory is a violation of the Equal Protection Clause, right? And that's where, somebody should challenge it and just say, well, then if we're going to do this, then we should be like Florida and have no state income tax.
Sports teams have fought that every day. I mean, pro sports teams, one team in the state of Florida may have a better chance to get the free agent coach or the free agent player because they don't have state income tax. Great work as always, Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
You got
More in a moment. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
We know what to look for. We go right to the source, the connections. But we go directly to the source.
Dan and John Lupo at Beards Diamonds talking about what it means to be a direct diamond importer.
We do a lot of business out of India. We do a lot of business out of Antwerp, Belgium, Israel, Africa as well. We will do whatever it takes to get the stone that the customer wants at the best price guaranteed.
So every diamond at Beards is hand-picked and brought in with no third-party markups. And so with no commission salespeople and no Wall Street quotas, Beards can price every diamond diamond for less.
If they've been shopping, which we encourage, and then come to us, and they're kind of at first they're like, "Oh, why is this $5,000 or $7,000 less?"
Best value guarantee, best selection guarantee, best experience, bar none, guaranteed. From Jacksonville's locally owned Diamond Powerhouse.
The family, the relaxed atmosphere, and we're there for each other.
It gives us a big advantage being local, and we love Jacksonville. The money stays in Jacksonville, by the way.
Beards Diamonds in St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Alert! Alert! Termite swarms are active right now in Jacksonville, and once they get inside, damage can happen fast. Termites don't knock, they silently attack the structure of your home, leaving behind costly repairs and long-term headaches. Protect what you've worked hard for with the proven protection homeowners trust. Terminix it with advanced termite treatment and prevention solutions. Visit Terminix.com and schedule your free termite inspection today.
Tusk, the classic tribute to Fleetwood Mac. Friday, March 6th at Florida Theater. Playing the hits and deep cuts of Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Fleetwood Mac. An unforgettable show with the iconic music you love. On sale now at floridatheater.com. Don't miss Tusk. Recreating the Fleetwood Mac experience like no other.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Spring is almost here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is your local certified arborist for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for residential or commercial properties. Protect your home, boost your curb appeal, and get top-notch service from a Jacksonville company. Make sure your trees are healthy and safe before summer hits. Schedule your tree inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
Renewal by Anderson is kicking off their 31-day spring savings event. For a limited time, buy 2 replacement windows or doors and get the third 60% off. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Our acclaimed impact windows are built for Florida, helping reduce energy costs and keeping your home comfortable all year long. Offer ends March 31st. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation. License CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
Be the first to discover the best new home community in beautiful Green Cove Springs. Highland Trail, where the rhythm of life slows down. Enjoy green spaces, luxury pools, pickleball courts, winding trails, and more at livehighlandtrail.com. Choose from 3 premium builders, just starting in the 300s.
Oh, at Highland Trail.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
And we thank our friends from Coyle & Sons. They're the best fence company around. They've done so much work for us, so much work at our Bregan baseball complex, so much work in town at so many different places. That's why they're the official fence company of the Jaguars, by the way. Call them at 904-356-4821 or go on to coiljacks.com. That's the website, COYLE-jacks.com. If you need any kind of fencing at all, Coyle & Sons are the folks to go to, and you'll love. My buddy Eric Gedemy bought the company, and he's grown it, and they've done a great job, and you'll love Coyle & Sons. So that's Coyle & Sons Fence Company. Sad news, by the way, of the world of college football. It now is official, Hayes. Lou Holtz has passed away.
Oh, boy.
At the age of
89, I think.
89, yeah. He was, the family passed it out, and then the Notre Dame has said it as well. Lou Holtz was a great football coach.
Oh, yeah.
But he won a national title. He was probably known more because of the character he was. He was funny. I can remember way back when his whole goal in life was to be on the Johnny Carson show. Did you know that?
I did not.
The Tonight Show. He wanted to be on the Johnny. So Johnny Carson brought him on one time. Might have after one of his titles. Or he was a magician. He could do that kind of magician stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So and he was and I can tell you, in the late 70s, the Florida Gators pursued him. Did you know that?
I did not.
The Gators pursued him. I think it's when Pell got the job.
So he would have been at Arkansas.
Yeah, when Doug Dickey
in '79, Holtz went 10-2 at Arkansas.
Yeah, and I think that's it would have been the year. What was he the year before?
So '78, he was 9-2-1.
Yeah, I think after '78, when Doug Dickey was fired, Lou Holtz was high on the list, and they wound up with Charlie Pell. And I don't know the particulars as to why. Did Holtz not want it, or did Marshall Kreiser, the president, say, "No, I'm going to hire Charlie Pell"? Maybe it was Robert Marston at the time, but I can tell you that he was high on the list. What do you remember most about Lou Holtz?
Brilliant public speaker. I had a chance to listen to Coach Holtz one time in a small gathering, and it was amazing.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, this was probably like 30 years ago. I mean, I wasn't even in the media yet, and it was just sensational, his perspective on life, and the motivator that he was. So that's what I think of is Lou Holtz, the motivator, but obviously a fantastic coach. I don't remember him prior to Notre Dame. When he got to Notre Dame, I was like 9. So,
Yeah.
but I remember those great teams: Chris Zorich, Bettis. I mean,
And that title in '88, the Tony Rice team.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they were incredible. And then obviously you sort of forget that he was at South Carolina for a while.
Right.
And then obviously was an analyst for ESPN for a number of years. But for me, Lou Holtz as a motivator is what I'll remember him for.
Yeah, I will tell you, and he was a great public speaker. I mean, he was one of the first that made big money going and speaking to corporations. He now a lot of the celebrities, sports and otherwise do it, but he was one of the first ones that I know of that got the kind of dollars he did to speak that. I interviewed him a handful of times at SEC Media Days when I was working for CSS. I was doing their one-on-one interviews, and a few times and he was great. I can still remember the angriest Lou Holtz I ever saw was, and I interviewed him a few times, and I've been to 1,000 press conferences of his back in the day. When Florida went up there and won in 2004, I think Zook had already been fired, right? Didn't they win in 2004? Had Zook had already been fired in Florida, or did they beat him at home then? This was a win at South Carolina.
Okay, 2004 was Holtz's last year at South Carolina.
So-
they were 6-5 that year.
Okay, so wherever they played Florida, they might. Then I tend to think they might have beaten them. I don't really know where the game I'm talking about was in Columbia, so it might have been 2003. But it was one of those games where Florida, with Ron Zook as the coach, beat South Carolina. They wore them out in 2004, so it might be 2003 I'm thinking of. But anyway, bottom line is, I'm doing the interviews for Sun Sports Network. I'm doing the post game for them, and I'm talking to Zook and Theatric Faison. And as we're done, and Florida had worn him out. Lou Holtz walked by, might be the angriest I've ever seen a football coach.
Wow.
Because he was always a glib guy, and he walked right by everybody, went to his car, which was parked right down in there, and I thought, wow, that people don't see angry Lou Holtz very much. We remember him grabbing the face mask, remember that, but you don't see angry Lou Holtz very much, so you saw him then. So Lou Holtz, the great Lou Holtz, one of the great college football characters. I would say that one of the, and by the way, the show with Mark May, was it Reese Davis that hosted that?
I think so.
I think Reese was hosting that. Dr. Lou?
Yeah.
I think that was Reese before Reese moved to Game Day. I think he was the late night host, but I remember that. You know what? Other than Game Day, that's probably the college football show I remember the most. Game Day was one back then, but I think it was Reese, Lou Holtz, and Mark May.
That's right.
Was together. That was their wrap up show at night, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It stands out to me.
Lou Holtz had an unbelievable delivery. It was very unique in that role because he would sit there and he'd be like, "Well, I think Alabama is going to win. Why?" And he always would do that. Like he would give it, and then why? Like we kind of get that you're going to tell us why, Lou. But it was
exactly right.
It was great, and he'll be missed.
Lou Holtz dead at the age of 89. We'll take a break. Headlines are next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
There's something special about radio play-by-play. Always has been. In Jacksonville, your place for play-by-play is 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Jack, so let's talk about it. Spring cleaning feels great until your drains remind you what they've been holding on to all winter. If your sink's burping, your shower's backing up, or your toilet's hesitating like it's reading a blitz, it's time to call in the pros. Call Duck Duck Rooter. During their spring drain cleaning promotion, get your drains cleaned plus a free camera inspection for just $129. Must have outside clean out, honest pricing, proven experience, no fourth quarter surprises. When you're stuck, call the Duck. That's 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Attention Northeast Florida golfers. Save hundreds on golf at premier local courses and support youth development. The First Tee of North Florida Tour Card is your key to big savings and making a difference. For just $99, you'll unlock discounted golf and offers at top courses and local businesses all year long. Plus, every tour card purchase helps fund programs that build character, confidence, and life skills for kids in our community. Grab your tour card today at tourcard.org.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you have told us about buying better quality diamonds, but is there any way to start with a smaller diamond and use it to trade up to a larger diamond later on?
Frank, it's interesting you'd ask that because our founder, H.F. Underwood, popularized growing your diamond here in Jacksonville about 50 years ago, and it's something we still do today. When a customer buys an Underwood engagement ring or solitaire diamond pendant or a pair of ear studs, we guarantee they get the price they paid for it on the purchase of any larger diamond. Now, a lot of stores would say, big deal. We do that too, but here's the Underwood difference. We guarantee you get what you paid when you trade in your Underwood diamond, even if you're trading up by only $1. It's not that you have to trade up 2 for 1 like most jewelers ask. There have been literally thousands of people in the Jacksonville area who have taken advantage of our policy, and Underwood still grows a lot of diamonds for a lot of people.
Underwood, serving excellence since 1928. In San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. We've got RJ Saunders with us today as JJ LaSelva is enjoying a Italian vacation with his lovely bride. I'm Hayes Carline. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. They will take great care of you. Hopefully you won't need them. Hopefully you don't get hurt, you don't get injured, but we know that happens in life. And if it happens to you or a loved one, Harrell & Harrell, that is who you need to put your trust into. Again, 251-1111. Frank, let's start with the Jaguars. Not a monumental move, but one of significance. The Jaguars have re-signed tight end Quentin Morris, 1-year deal worth up to $3 million. Good, good offensive player in a supplemental role behind Brenton Strange, and a good special teams player.
And the best tight end blocker on the team other than Brenton Strange. They needed, they Johnny Munt and Hunter Long were good pass catchers. But weren't as physical. I think Quentin Morris, really good special teams player, really good blocker, caught a touchdown. I mean, he's a guy that worked his way into the mix. He's a guy, one of those guys that you don't know about until you find him, and then you're glad you found him. So, yeah, Quentin Morris will help the football team. There's no question about that. There's a lot of times they'd start two tight ends, and it was Strange and Quentin Morris, particularly as they came down the stretch.
Let's get to around the NFL. The Chiefs are trading all-pro cornerback Trent McDuffie to the L.A. Rams for a few different things, but the biggest part of the package is that first-round pick, late first-round pick. So the Chiefs, it's interesting. Are they pivoting to more of a rebuild mode? And obviously we know the LA Rams love nothing more than trading a first-round pick for a big-time veteran, and they certainly get it with Trent McDuffie. LA not laying down after Seattle wins the world title.
Let me start with Kansas City. You don't always completely pivot when you've got Patrick Mahomes, because you only have so many years with arguably the best player in football, certainly among them. But I do think it's sort of a half pivot, Hayes, that they realize to get enough people to go with him, they've got to have some picks. They've got to wait. Remember, they're going to get a first-round pick out of this thing. So they have to find a handful of players. You make the point all the time that they've run out of weapons. So when you have Mahomes and you're likely to have Kelsey and you're going to have Chris Jones, there's enough good players that it's not a full rebuild, but it's a little bit of a sort of reload in ways we haven't in a long time. And I think they kind of noticed, again, you pointed it out a bunch. I think they've kind of noticed that, hey, we got to get some more good players. So I think that if we sacrifice one really good player for a handful of good players to go with Patrick Mahomes, that's where we are. So a little bit of a pivot to sort of a reload. It's not a rebuild when Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. By the way, as for the Rams, I want to get to this when we top of the hour. Excuse me, I cut you off. I think there's a trend changing about how people treat picks, and the Rams are the poster child for that. We'll talk about it at the top of the hour.
Absolutely. The Patriots have cut receiver Stephon Diggs. Pretty good player for them this past year, and they've got tons of cap. But I think the expectation is New England is going to be heavily involved in the free agent market in the receiver position.
I do too, and he was great for them. He was great for them, but he's an older guy. I think they want to get a younger receiver and free agent, maybe draft, maybe someone who can grow old with Drake May. I think that. So when I saw it, I was surprised a little, but they don't want it. And I hate to call him a journeyman because he was very good for them last year, but they don't want a team of journeymen. They want to build young players around their young quarterback and have a young team, so I'm not surprised.
The Chargers are releasing left guard Mekhi Becton. Becton actually can play left or right guard. Interesting situation there. Was great with the Eagles after really a disappointing start to his career with the Jets. The Chargers sign him. He's hurt. It doesn't go very well. The Chargers will save almost $10 million in releasing Becton, so another veteran offensive lineman on the market.
Yeah, what happened was he wasn't a tackle. Because he's so gigantic, he just looked like a tackle, and the Jets found out he couldn't play tackle. He moved inside with the Eagles, and listen, he had Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson and some real veterans there, Hayes, that could help him and could maybe hide him a little bit, but certainly help him grow, which he did. Yeah, he wasn't very good for the Chargers. He was never a really good player, but he's so gigantic and so big that in the right setting, he could clog the line a little bit, and I think that's what he was. I don't expect Mekhi Becton to land somewhere and be a great player, but he'll land somewhere.
Let's get to college football. Sad news. Lou Holtz died today at the age of 89. He obviously had a magnificent career, but is probably most well known for leading Notre Dame to the national championship.
Yeah, 1988, that was a great team. That was a Tony Rice team. He was known for that. He had a great career before, had a career after. He's also was known as the late night guy with Reese Davis and Mark May, Dr. Lou. I thought that was a big part of his career. And for the younger fans, that's what they will remember. But one of the great characters in college football lore, no question.
John Summerall met with reporters yesterday and gave a detailed injury report, which we're not used to seeing. John Summerall said linebacker Miles Graham will be held out of 11-on-11 action this spring as he recovers from a shoulder injury. Receiver Dallas Wilson also being held out for precautionary reasons. Same kind of deal as last year. It's a foot issue. It's actually the other foot. But Summerall did say if Florida were to play a game on Saturday, Dallas Wilson would be available. So this is more precautionary, keeping him healthy. But it was interesting seeing Summerall basically unprompted go through a detailed injury report.
You know, you hit the news story. The news story isn't what Miles Graham or Dallas Wilson does. And I learned this a little bit when he was on my show or our show, and I've learned it hearing other interviews. He wants to tell you stuff. You know, coaches are notorious for wanting to hide stuff. Now, maybe he'll change after he's been the head coach at a Power 4 for a while. I hope not. But you notice that he wants to tell you, doesn't he? When I had him on the other day, he stayed 18 minutes, which is long. Usually these interviews are 9 to 12 minutes. He stayed 18, and right at the end we were wrapping. I just made a little joke about, hey, look, if you're going to go lift with those guys, make sure you lift the receivers. Don't go lift with those big linemen. He went for another minute talking about the gains the linemen had made.
Yeah,
he just wants to tell you stuff. I love that. He doesn't want to hide stuff. Again, that could change, but he wants to tell people stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's get it to college basketball. The Gators bash Mississippi State 108-74 without Thomas Houck, who sat out with an ankle injury. Florida improved to 26-4 and claimed sole possession of the SEC title with a 15-2 record. Alex Condon led UF with 26 points.
Yeah, they maul people. It's going to be hard for anyone to play against him. Even without Houck, they maul people. And you're getting the beauty of C.J. Ingram is he's not going to be in the rotation when the postseason comes, but you're getting a little bit of a glimpse of what they might have down the road. I mean, C.J. Ingram, assuming someone doesn't come along and buy him from Florida, will be the starting small forward next year because I don't think Thomas Houck's coming back. He'll be a good player. I mean, he's athletic. He can shoot it. Remember, he was the first guy off the bench when the season started. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. He was ahead of Zay Brown. He was ahead of all of them. He was ahead of Klavjar, and now he's not in the rotation, but he'll be an important part of their team next year.
No doubt about it. Florida's athletic department now has 269 SEC titles. That leads the SEC by 105.
Wow.
Tennessee is second with 164 SEC crowns.
Right?
Florida has won at least one SEC title for 48 straight years, the longest streak in the league.
269, and it leads the pack by 100.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because we're not talking about the Southern Conference.
Right.
This isn't the Southland Conference. It's the Southeastern Conference, and Florida leads it by 100.
105.
Wow.
It's amazing.
It really is. It's a great athletic program.
Yeah, that definitely popped to me. I thought they'd be one, but I was surprised they're number one by that margin. Huge win for Mike White last night. Georgia beats Alabama in Athens 98-88 to snap the Crimson Tide's 8-game win streak. The Bulldogs improved to 9-8 in SEC play, and now they're a lock to make the NCAA tournament. Probably moved up to about the 7 line.
The Mike White haters don't want to hear this because Lord knows Gator Nation has the Mike White haters. I've never quite figured that out, but they do. But I will tell you, this is the first time, Hayes, Georgia has been to, assuming they're in the tournament, which I think they are. Do you realize it's the first time Georgia's gone to back-to-back tournaments since 01-02? It's the first time in 25 years that Georgia's ever gone back-to-back in the NCAA tournament. No, Mike White's a good coach. He's not nearly as good a coach as Todd Golden, and Florida upgraded immensely. But Mike White's a good coach. I'm not surprised. He's not a great coach, but he's a pretty good coach.
Let's get to the ASUN tournament here in Jacksonville. JU loses a heartbreaker earlier today to Bellarmine, 82-79 at UNF. The Dolphins trailed 47-32 at halftime before rallying to take a 72-67 lead with 6:36 to play. Bellarmine hit the game winner with 14 seconds left.
JU led 79-76 and had 3 straight empty trips. 3 straight empty trips down court, and it cost them a gut wrench. They played hard. They had a chance. They missed a 1-and-1 in the last minute. They missed a pull-up 8-foot jumper in the last minute, and they had a careless turnover. And those 3 things, a careless turnover, missed the front end of a 1-and-1, and then missed a short jumper on their last 3 possessions. Or, well, they had the desperation possession. cost them the game.
UNF plays tonight. The Ospreys are the 11 seed and will play 6 seed West Georgia at 7:30 at JU. And then the quarterfinals will be held at the VyStar Arena starting on Friday.
Yeah, UNF split with West Georgia during the season. Interestingly, won on the road. They won at West Georgia and lost at home in the UNF Arena to West Georgia. So these are two teams very familiar with each other. And JU could move on. I was rooting for them. Man, I was rooting hard for them. I really was. I'm also rooting really hard for UNF. Hopefully one of our two teams can move along. I certainly hope so.
Florida State plays tonight at Pitt. That's at 9 o'clock on the ACC network. The Noles are a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, and they're playing great. Again, they started too late to get an at-large bid, no matter where it lands. But that's a shame because they're certainly playing as well right now as some teams that will be in the tournament.
Without a doubt, Miami plays at SMU tonight at 7. The Canes are a 1.5-point underdog. Miami looks like they're safely in the field, but can help their seeding with a road win tonight.
Yeah, Miami's in the field. Miami is in that 7-8 line, the 7 line, the 8 line, somewhere thereabouts. But yeah, every win can improve on that.
Let's get to the PGA Tour. The Bay Hill is this week, Arnie's event. It's a signature event before the Players' Championship next week. Scotty Scheffler will tee off at 10:20 tomorrow, playing with Russell Henley. Rory McIlroy will start at 1:30 with Victor Hovland.
Yeah, I wonder how Scotty will do. Scotty has been always good, but not as ridiculously great in the last month or two.
Particularly on Thursdays.
Yeah, he loves playing here. So he's tomorrow he'll be 7 days away from hitting his first shot here at the Players. I'll be really interested to watch Scotty Scheffler and to see if he makes to see if he's any closer. Again, he's had some good rounds in every tournament. To see if he's more consistent this time as we are 1 week away from the Players.
That's right. We will get you out with today's musical nugget. If you saw Bruce Springsteen at the Jacksonville Coliseum in 2003, you saw that show on this day in 2003. The Rising Tour, the boss played a 23-song set, which included 2 encores. He closed the show with this classic, Dancing in the Dark.
Of the 14 times I saw him, this was the best concert.
Oh, cool.
I've seen this was the best show I've ever seen from Springsteen, and they tore down the Coliseum after. Did you know that? They knocked it down. They said, that's it. After this, there's no point in starting it. Knock the damn thing down. And they knocked it down. The last big show in the Coliseum, the last show of significance was this show. Went to the concert, knocked it down, moved on.
Yeah.
Great job.
23 years ago tonight.
Hard to believe. And
Yeah.
I was there, and I was deep. Okay. It was a wonderful night watching Bruce Springsteen, I can tell you that. Hour or two is next. Mike Fleming joins us in a bit. But when we come back, I want to make a point or two about where I think player procurement might be going in the NFL. Stay with us.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
1010XL.
I suggest we use it.
Jacksonville Sports Empire.
It is your destiny.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. James Spence Authentication returns to Showtime this Sunday from 12 to 4 p.m. He'll be authenticating autographed items for 4 hours inside the store. That's JSA, the leaders in autograph authenticity, this Sunday at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Every time your team makes a move,
This kid could be the game breaker we're looking for.
1010XL will break it down.
We're professionals. We have a job to do, a season to plan.
Follow the road to the regular season with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world #1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I'm celebrating a little anniversary this week. 2 years ago, I hit my goal weight with a Waco 180. 40 pounds gone. And now I know it's not 100 plus like Hacker, but 40 was my number. That was the weight holding me back, slowing me down. And the best part, free maintenance for life. That's the difference. I didn't do it with meds, didn't do it with side effects, didn't rely on a shortcut that I had to stay on forever. I did it with a plan, awesome coaching, and learning how to eat in a way that actually works in real life. Awaken 180 knows you travel, knows you eat out, knows you have cravings. A real-life plan for real-life people. Maybe your number's 25 pounds. Maybe it's 40 like mine. Maybe it's over 100 like Hacker. Whatever your number is, we're proof you can reach it and keep it off without putting something in your body you don't want there. Awaken 180 works. Get your number at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
La playa is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La Playa awaits.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. The Jaguars did not use their franchise tag on running back Travis Etienne Jr. or linebacker Devin Lloyd, so both will hit the free agency market next week when it opens up. This week's PGA Tour event is the Arnold Palmer Invitational from Bay Hill down in Orlando, teeing off tomorrow. Final event before next week's Players' Championship. It's 73 degrees at 5 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air & Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
Did Hall and Oates get back together yet or not?
I think it's resolved legally, but I think they kind of went their own way.
They're not buddies. They're just not suing each other.
I think, I think it legally resolved, but unfortunately, it hasn't emotionally resolved.
Well, you can tell how emotional I am about it. It was always hard for me to ask the question.
It's every day. It's hard for me to get out of bed with Hall and Oates, at each other's throats.
I'm hungry.
Yes.
You hungry?
I got a great prize for you. I tell you what, our friends at the farm at Okefenokee do such an outstanding job with these monthly dinners. And we've done these giveaways before, and we're doing it again. Saturday night, the farm at Okefenokee, it's a Congorian Pen dinner. It's fantastic. You're going to have a great meal. You're going to get a chance to tour the property. Give us a call, 641-1010. We'll take caller number 2 right now. Again, okefarm.com is where you can get more information. Make sure you can go this Saturday. It's you and a guest. You're going to win 2 tickets, but the date isn't flexible. So make sure you can go this Saturday, but they'd love to have you. The weather should be great, and you're going to get an unbelievable meal. So, again, caller number 2, 641-1010.
All right, you're going to the farm, and you're going to eat that great food from Congorian Pen. You're exactly right. All right. Mike Fleming joins us just a few moments from the Firewatch. But let me ask you that. I get this sense I don't want to say it the wrong way. I don't think picks are ever not going to be important. You still have to build your team primarily through the draft. You supplement that with free agents. No one's ever going to build an entire team through. This isn't college football in the portal. I get that. But I do get the sense in this need to win faster than ever. Coaches getting fired faster than ever. Fans paying more than ever for tickets. Stadiums going up and coming down faster than ever. That the fastest way to win when you're about to win is to trade a few picks away and go get that last piece like the Rams just did. I think we're going to see more of that. Winning immediately has never been more on the table than it is now. Coaches have never gotten fired faster than they have now. I think you're going to see more and more teams. The Jags gave up a first-round pick next year or this coming year to move up 3 spots. Now, that wasn't necessarily to win right away, but it was to get way better, way faster. I think you're going to see more. I would not be surprised if our jaw doesn't drop this year and certainly in coming years at how freely teams move on from first-round picks. Have I lost my mind thinking that?
Not at all, because the odds just tell you it's a better bet. Like, what's the odds that the Rams are going to get more great play out of Trent McDuffie or that the Chiefs are going to get great play out of the 29th pick in the draft?
Correct.
The 29th pick in the draft may not be able to walk and chew gum at this level. I mean, you have no idea. The odds that that's going to be a great player are low. That's just the nature of the draft. I mean, half the first-round picks don't work out at all, and obviously the odds get even lower the further you go back in the draft. So I think if you can add an established player, obviously you got to pay him more. You got to, from a cap standpoint, you got to be in good shape to do it.
Right.
But if you're able to absorb the contract of adding the big time veteran, yeah, like if for teams looking at Max Crosby, AJ Brown, I mean, you know what you're getting. You're getting a unbelievable talent. The draft is incredibly unpredictable.
And you can sacrifice volume because you're there. That's the point too, Hayes, is yes, you got to be able to pay him, but it's not, look, the Chiefs aren't just, or the Rams rather, aren't just giving up pick 29. They're giving up a number of picks, but I think people feel like that's okay now if I can win right now. I think that's the bottom line. And I know it's not new. It's not like teams haven't ever done it before, but I sense the trend is there will be more of it. I really think
somebody's got to cover Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Right.
And, I mean, Seattle won the world title mostly off their great defense.
Right.
But I don't know that we've – and Walker made some nice runs. But, I mean, look, they're letting him go in free agency.
Right.
Jackson Smith and Jigba was one of the most impactful offensive players for a world championship that we've seen. So if you're the L.A. Rams – you're like, how are we going to even remotely stop them? Yeah. We've got to go get a player like McDuffie.
And it doesn't matter. It's a great point because it doesn't matter if you can go find a way to start covering Jackson Smith and Jigba, but you have all these other holes on your team. But if you don't, and they were the second best team in football in all likelihood last year. So if you don't have these other holes, then you go get that one answer to go cover the receiver you haven't been able to cover and go try and win the Super Bowl. Your quarterback's 37 years old. Your coach is flirting with the TV booth every year. You're that close. Then I just think you're going to see more of that. And by the way, I kind of like it because it makes teams good faster. I really believe it. We'll take a break. When we come back, Mike Fleming joins us from the Firewatch. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Feel the weight of tradition in every swing. 1010XL is your radio home for the Players' Championship with live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Shillington Creek Pest Control,
Jack's Outdoor Solutions,
and Firehouse Subs.
Patrick Young here, a.k.a. the Big PY, and you know I love my Florida Gators. Now you can hear my Gator basketball instant reaction following each Gator Hoops game. Look for my takes on the social channels of 1010XL. Brought to you by VanguardSportsLeagues.com.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be an 8-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient. The only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit NimnickChevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. I've been buying my vehicles there since 1982 because they care about their customers and are invested in our local community, including supporting walk-off charities and all we're trying to do to give underprivileged kids a chance to play baseball. treating you right, giving the most back to the community, more choices and better prices for you. So who has put the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. Visit the showroom off Cassett Avenue or shop 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com. Remember again, who does it best? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
When you buy online, you really cannot tell because you're not looking at the stone. So it's impossible to buy a stone online that you could really see everything about it. You have to buy a diamond in person.
That's John Lupo at Beard's Diamonds, who says one big mistake is trying to buy a diamond online. Because each diamond is unique, you need to examine it for yourself.
Otherwise, you can get fooled, you can get tricked, and that's not a good thing when you're spending thousands of dollars.
At Beard's, John's son Ben says they give each customer the ability to compare multiple diamonds in their price range, not just on paper, but up close inside and outside.
Go outside in the natural daylight. That's the best test to be able to see the exact color in the stone, see the brilliance in the stone, and the fire and the scintillation, which is very, very important.
People want to know what they're spending this money on, and they also want to be protected.
That's why Beard's takes it a step further with a money-back guarantee and a trade-up policy that guarantees you will always get what you paid when you upgrade. Buy with confidence at locally owned Beard's Diamonds in St. John's Town Center.
Like many football fans in Jacksonville, I love defense. I am attorney Lee Lockett, and I'm here to tell you that defense in the courtroom is important as well. That's because penalties for DUI are much more serious than penalties on the gridiron. If you or someone you know is facing a DUI, call us for a free case analysis now. Know before you blow 858-9818. Put my more than 20 years of experience to work for you. Office is Jacksonville, serving all surrounding counties. Call 858-9818 or go to knowbeforeyoublow.com.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
Homeowners, ready to open your home to spring and shut out high energy bills? It's 31 days of spring savings with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, buy 2 windows or doors and get the third 60% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. But this offer expires March 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
We sure appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons. Again, 904-356-4821. Any kind of fencing you need, commercial, residential. They're just the best in the business. Some of the best people you'll ever know. Give them a call today. It's a special week because the Players' Championship is here. It's also a special week because it's one of the times we get to visit with our friend Brigadier General Mike Fleming from the Firewatch, who puts on a very special event coming up in a few days. Great to see you, man. How are you?
Hey, this is fantastic. Thanks so much, as always, for supporting the military. And we got a special event on Saturday we'll talk about.
We really do. And before we get to the event that's connected to the players, I do this all the time because we have new listeners all the time. I think the Firewatch is such a really cool initiative. You know how I feel about that. We've had the conversation a bunch. But for people that don't know, give them a quick overview.
Yeah, there's a tragedy of veteran suicide, and it's estimates between lose 18 to 22 veterans a day across the United States to suicide, which is awful. And this is all eras. And so we created about 6 or 7 years ago now the Firewatch, and it's thefirewatch.org. And it's to prevent veteran suicide. And it's really try to get upstream of that challenge. And the main thing we do, we have something called the Watchstander program, where you can take an hour of training online and then you can learn how to talk to your veteran friends. We were talking a little earlier. Right now we have active combat going on in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And so now's the time to reach out to your military friends and your military families to talk to them about it. And this is not political. It's simply they're doing their jobs. And you have some families who have probably some military members overseas right now. And so now's the time to reach out to them. And you can take the training. It's an hour's worth of training with Psych Armor's our partner. So it's thefirewatch.org. And if you take that, we ask you to invest an hour to support the military.
Yeah, it's a wonderful message. And this job fair is so critical every year. Talk about the partnership with the Players Championship, but also the difficulty of getting into the job market for veterans that can exist.
Right. It can be a challenge because no matter how long you serve in the military, eventually you're going to be a civilian again. And so one of the things I founded something called the Jacksonville Military Veterans Coalition, and this is our 15th year. We partnered with the Players Championship. Matt Rapp and I had lunch 15 plus years ago. We said, can we do this? And we have. Each year we've had it. Even the COVID year, we had it. And it's a collaboration with the Players Championship. It's really the kickoff event for the week, and it's going to be this Saturday at the Players course from 10 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We have 30 plus different employers that are there, and even if you don't know anything and feel like, gee, I'm really not ready, or maybe you're on active duty now, is come and see us because we have some great partners like Career Source Northeast Florida. We got Wounded Warrior Project there, Operation New Uniform. We can help you with resumes. We can help you do it. Dip your toe in the water because eventually you're going to move into the civilian market.
Yeah, and describe the lay of the land, Mike. It's a big tent.
Yeah, it's actually the Patriots Outpost.
Yeah.
It's at right by the 16th tee.
Right.
And it's used during the week. If you're a veteran, you get free food. It's really neat, free food and drink. And so, but we use it for that, and we set it up, and then you'll drive in the main entrance there, and then they'll have a parking area. Then they have people who in golf carts will bring you over there.
Right.
And 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and it's in the Patriots Outpost. And again, if for nothing else, if you're interested in the job market at all, you'll learn things because the way you get jobs is you got to put yourself out there, and you got to, even if you're a little unconfident, we got people who can help you, particularly Operation New Uniform and Career Source Northeast Florida.
One of the first things Mike told us, Hayes, and I know you know this, but is that when you're in the military, and those of us that are civilians have never lived the life you guys have lived, Mike, so you don't understand that is your career, that what you know is the military. You weren't planning on and thinking about the other career because that's what you focused on.
Right.
That's what you focused on. It's probably not entirely unlike athletes who, when they're in their 30s or moving on. But so that's what you know. So all of a sudden, and you explained this to me perfectly one time, it kind of hits you. You're no longer in the military. Well, what am I going to do now? Well, go get a job. Well, okay, but I hadn't thought about that. Right. I mean, that's what we're talking about here is let's help members of the military. You guys help members of the military take the step. It might be go get them a job. It might be learn how to interview. It might be to see what's out there. It's kind of an assortment of all of that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we got, we'll have one of our sponsors will take a headshot of you. And because a lot of times when you get interviewed, people want to get something on LinkedIn, all kind of different things. And it's really, I know you've talked a lot about like with the Jaguars, all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah.
Well, now you got to move on to something else. And, it's really interesting because one of the things in the military we're taught, particularly as leaders, not to think about ourselves or talk about ourselves. You're giving credit to the people working for you, which is fantastic. We need to continue to do that. But when you come out of the military, you can't give credit to everybody else. You actually have to talk about yourself. You have to talk about what you do, and not only what you do, what you can do for that particular company. Because company's interested in you, likes the attributes that most veterans have. But on the other hand, you now have to fit into that particular organization's culture, and you've got to convince them that you're going to make them better.
Do veterans have to register for the job event?
Yeah, fortunately we don't have to do any of that. The players team out there is been fantastic. Margie Dennis is now the one helping us. As you know, Kathy Hurlbert started it. Still a great friend, I know, to everyone. And they just go to the gate, tell them the job fair. They give you directions. You come in there. You don't have to necessarily wear a suit. You should wear something business that you want to be seen. but you can just absorb and talk to a bunch of different organizations, because the jobs I've had since I retired from the military, none of them did I apply for it. It's something I got to know somebody and said, hey, you may be qualified for this. You may do things, throughout my, now 15 years I've been out of the military. All the jobs have been because of relationships. And that way, I think it's great to come out and just test the waters when you have an opportunity.
You said something good, because again, we have a lot of members of the military. They're going to be listening to this. Number one, what do you wear? Well, it doesn't have to be a suit anymore, but dress nice. Right?
Exactly. Yes. Right.
Dress nice. Dress the way you'd want an employer to see you. Number two, do you bring a resume? Well, if you have one, yes, but if not, you'll coach that process.
Exactly
too,
right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So this is all encompassing.
That's right.
What is it like? Tell me some experiences when you've been out there. When you see members of the military, do they look surprised? Are they excited? Do they not quite know what to do? It's probably all of the above. But I mean, what? Give me an experience or two when you see folks come to this military job fair.
Yeah, I think some of them who have been in the market. These aren't all people who have just gotten out of the military. It's people who are interested. They may have been out a couple of years, maybe want to look at a different career path. So they come in a little bit more confident because they've already done the initial work to come out of the military and get a position. The ones that you can see are a little tentative are, okay, this is my first time doing this. And so we greet them at the door and we get them through, we walk them to places and everything. So main thing is get a comfort level and really be yourself, because, you're going to, when you work for an organization every day, obviously they'll enjoy, they like the fact you've been in the military and honor that, but you don't get a parade every day because you've been in the military. Eventually you're going to be an employee who needs to produce for that company. And so one of the other pieces of advice I tell people is you need to really make a decision on what's important to you. Is the geographic location important? Do you want to make as much money as you can? Do you want to have, a job where you're off every night and weekends? Well, normally you can't take all three of those and put them together, because if an organization pays you a lot of money, they're going to expect a lot of time out of you. So there's nothing wrong with any of the three of those, but you need to have in your mind what is important to you, and also involve your family, because that's something we really talk about. They've moved around with you in the military. Now make sure you're engaging your family, so whatever decision you make from employment, your family will support.
Yeah, that's great advice. And tell us some of the businesses and industries that will be participating in this.
So we've got over 30 businesses. The main partners are Morgan Stanley, Comcast Business, Optum. Kevlar is the Patriots Outpost sponsor, so they have those. But we have different organizations there. Florida Blue is there. We've got JU is there. We've got both education. We've got individual. We've got financial companies. Really, it's a wide variety of 30. Once we really work on that, Bill Hickey, as you know, is really the one. He does all the work. I take all the credit, but it's worked for 15 years. And so what we do is we want a variety. We didn't want just one thing, because great thing about the military, even if you have whatever job you had in the military, some people want to take that and convert it. A lot of times we have now IT in the military really can make a great transition to IT in the civilian world. But most of us, for me, like I was kind of a, no pun intended, kind of a general expert in a couple of areas, but nothing really specific. And so you want to explore that. And I think that's the best thing. And it's exciting, but it also can be intimidating. But you got to kind of jump in with both feet and get started.
Our friend Bill Hickey works very hard at that. I appreciate you giving him a credit.
I'm not giving him credit. I just say he works.
Well, but I'm appreciating it in large part because he's blowing up my phone right now.
Okay, good.
That's the other reason I appreciate you mentioning him. It's going to be great. One more time, because I'm going to ask you to talk about Firewatch again in 1 second. But one more time as we wrap the military job fair. It is 10 to 2 this Saturday. It is at the TPC Stadium course, on the course at the Patriots Outpost near the 16th tee. Under a big tent there. It's a wonderful setup. And again, if you're a member of the military, if you're looking to work, they're there to help you. That's all this is. There's no strings attached.
No
there's
cost.
No cost. There's no fine print. They just, Mike's initiative and so many of his initiatives in his life has been to help people in the military, which is really cool, by the way. And I mean that sincerely. So there's no strings attached. Go out there from 10 to 2. And
go in the main gate, because there've been some people who have actually parked out at the one out by 17.
Yeah.
And there's no there's no carts from there, so you have a long walk to get there.
17's where the normal parking
Correct.
is, but you don't go there. You want to go through the main
gate.
Yeah,
go through the main gate.
Right. You're driving almost up to the clubhouse.
That's correct. You're very close to that.
You're very close to the clubhouse. All right, one more time about Firewatch. I'm so moved by what Firewatch does. You talked about being a watchstander. Have you seen? I know you have, but tell us how you've seen the progress. Again, 22 suicides a day in our country from members of the military. It's a tough afterlife, man. Tell me about some of the progress you guys have seen.
Yeah, one of the great things with our watchstanders, as you know, our friend Nick Hallen is our executive director. I'm the chair of it, and so Nick has worked very diligently so we can have data.
Yeah.
And so one of the great things that we found is that when our watchstanders are on average referring a little less than 2 veterans a year to resources, or actually per month to resources.
Yeah.
And that's really what we want. We don't expect a watchstander, really, if someone has a challenge, is get that person resources. We have a great resource page on the Firewatch. As you know, I work for Cohen Veterans Network, so they're one of them. But we got Wounded Warrior Project, Operation New Uniform, the City of Jacksonville. We have so many resources. So the number one thing we want is a watchstander to be a friend, just like you would try to engage in a person's life if he or she was having problems. Don't be intimidated that your friend's a veteran. You want to be that friend to that veteran, just like you would enter your friends and get them to resources as needed.
And now's a very important time. Tell us one more time. When we have active military action, which we have now, I know abroad, it's more important than ever. I'm not going to say it nearly as eloquently as you do, but it's more important than ever, is it not, to make sure you're reaching out to your friends in the military?
Yeah, and both, there's some who are actively serving, reach out to those families and check in with them, but also veterans, because, when we end up having some kind of active combat, some of the veterans start thinking about their experiences, and maybe it takes them to a dark place. Yeah. And they need friends looking out for them. And that's why, we say you want to stand watch for your family and, for your military members and the military families. And that's where you can make a difference in the lives of veterans and military family members in your neighborhood, in your life. And we just ask you to take that investment and make it happen.
Brigadier General Mike Fleming, once again, the military job fair is 10 to 2 on Saturday. Good luck with it. You don't need it because I know you guys will kill it, but thanks for stopping by. We appreciate
it. Always. Thank you.
Back in a moment on 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Tensions build.
3rd and 12. Let's go.
Plot thickens.
We got to get off the field.
Crowds roar. Tune in and let the show begin. Your home for live play-by-play is 1010 XL.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The new Ackerman Cancer Center is now open in World Golf Village with state-of-the-art technology that detects cancer fast and accurately. Same-day appointments are available where faster answers meet compassionate care. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for over 75 years. And now, catch this. Bono's new limited time offer features an Atlantic fried cod platter with 2 pieces of mouth-watering fried cod and 1 southern side for $15.49, or a fried cod sandwich with 1 southern side for $12.99. You can't beat that deal. And after 1 bite, you'll be hooked. So you better hurry in. The fried cod platter right now at Bono's. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
The road to March runs through Jacksonville. The 2026 Atlantic Sun Conference men's and women's basketball tournament is coming to VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Catch all 24 Division I basketball programs in action March 3rd through 9th. Reserve your seat today at asunsports.org/tickets. Jacksonville is the destination for ASUN basketball. Get your tickets to the 2026 Atlantic Sun Conference men's and women's basketball tournament today. asunsports.org/tickets.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Pick it here for Oceanside Cleaners, the very best in dry cleaning service. Free pickup and delivery, or use their self-service kiosk in Ponte Vedra and Southside for drop-off and pickup. Dry cleaning, laundry, bedding, and bridal gown preservation. If it's got fabric, they can clean it. Oceanside Cleaners.
Gold is now around $5,000 an ounce, and silver at an all-time high. If you need cash to help pay bills, then you've got to go to the Estates Roadshow. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Friday in 2 great locations, St. Augustine and Palm Coast. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. The prices of gold and silver are at an all-time high, so there's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure, just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Friday in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance, just off I-95 and International Golf Parkway, and in Palm Coast at the Holiday Inn Express, just off 95 and Palm Coast Parkway. Get some cash in your hands today to help pay those bills at the Estates Roadshow. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook for all upcoming events.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
You just heard the golden moment. Our friend Mike Fleming, Brigadier General Mike Fleming, who helps so much, who cares so much about those in the military, and was certainly does so many good things. And the most recent good thing is going to be this military job fair. One more time, 10 to 2 at the stadium course on this, near the 16th tees where the Patriots outpost is. Our friend Kathy Herbert built that whole initiative, and everything Kathy does, she does well. She did well. I can promise you that. So she did a great job, and it continues on. So great to have Mike Fleming in here. And please go out there and support the folks in the military all week long. The military outpost is there all week long. Tuesday is certainly the Military Appreciation Day. Ludacris will be in town. It's a great day at the Players. And again, if you're a member of the military and you need help in a job search, there's no better way to do it than going out there tomorrow. So that was the golden moment today. You ready for the Players?
I can't wait.
I mean, we've been chomping at the bit for this one.
Yeah, we're a week away from a Loser Monday.
How about that?
That's crazy.
We're about to kick off Loser Monday.
Yeah.
I am really excited about the Players Championship. I get more and more excited every year. Our friend Lee Smith will be here for a while tomorrow afternoon. Going to keep him for a couple segments just to get caught up on how close they are, what's going on, how are tickets selling. I want to ask all those questions.
Well, it'll be interesting, too, because there hasn't been much rain, and I think we're maybe getting a little bit in the next day or so, but I'll be curious to ask Lee about the firmness and how receptive the course might be, because obviously you'd like it, I would imagine, to be as challenging as it can be, and it would seem like Mother Nature has allowed it to be as fast in terms of the greens as they want it to be. So now we're close enough that I think you start to get a sense of how will the course play, assuming we don't get, a surprise, a couple of days of rain. But when you look at the extended forecast between now and the end of the Players' Championship, it's really not a lot of rain that's coming. So I'll be interested to see, do we see a little bit more bite out of the stadium course this year?
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'm like you. I'll be very interested to see. My guess is they get it kind of how they want it, But yeah, if Mother Nature helps a little bit, that's okay too. So you're right about that. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the golf season. I think there's more young players that are emerging. We talk about this every week with Lee. There's still the staples. I'm really interested in watching. Scotty Scheffler hasn't become mortal yet,
but he's probably closer to mortal than he's been in a while, right? I can't wait to see how he plays. Not only how he plays in Orlando this week at the Arnold, but how he plays. I'm very intrigued to see what Scotty Scheffler we get. Now, the worst Scotty Scheffler means he'll be T5, or top 5. But I mean, I wonder what we'll see.
It is interesting. He got a little prickly's too strong, but he hasn't been playing well on Thursday,
right?
And then he's been blitzing the field Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But he's been leaving himself such a deficit to climb out of that he hasn't been winning. He has been finishing very high in these events, but he has won on tour this year. So it's not like the world's falling apart. But he hasn't been as strong on Thursday as he has been in past years. And he was asked about it today, and he was like, you can tell like he is not the least bit worried about it, and he's sort of over the narrative. So we'll see, how he starts tomorrow. But if he doesn't play well tomorrow at Bay Hill, then expect that to be a storyline. I'm assuming Scheffler will conduct his press conference on Tuesday. That's when the vast majority of players talk before the players is that Tuesday. Right. He might talk Wednesday,
right?
But normally it's on the Tuesday. So that's tomorrow's an interesting round for Scott. He doesn't seem to be overly bothered by it, but it has been by far his worst round so far this season, and he was exquisite on Thursday last year.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see. By the way, I'm very excited about our new location. We've had great locations, but in the past we've been in sort of a media compound of sorts, which is fine. And the last few years, right to the left of the 9th green in a little area. I say it's a media compound. That's not correct because there's food back there, but a lot of the medias are back. A lot of the media establishments are back there. This year we're right out there on Trucks on 10.
That'd be great.
I mean, right there in the middle of the folks. So we're very excited about being out there. It's a great location. It's a new location for us.
I might have 19 lobster rolls.
There's no question you will. So, like the first day,
first hour,
the first hour. So we are really excited about that. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. All right. We did not talk. We between talking JU, having Brett Hastings in here. To talk sports, and of course, Mike Fleming, always great to hear him come by. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the changing face, a little bit of player procurement in the NFL, if it indeed is changing. We didn't talk much about the Florida basketball game last night. They win easily against Mississippi State. We saw a glimpse of the future a little bit. We saw C.J. Ingram, who will be their small forward next year if Thomas Houck. I mean, you've got Thomas Houck coming back. And
I think he comes back. I think they all come back.
You've lost your mind. But I love when you get excited about something and you talk yourself into it happening.
Yeah.
And so that's where you are.
Well, I mean, look.
How about Horford and Noah? Are they coming back?
Yeah, they could fight it. They could go the Bediako route.
Yeah, they could.
But, I mean, look, this is just the nature of college basketball. Yeah. If you're Thomas Houck, first off, his idol growing up was Tim Tebow, who famously stayed at Florida for his final year. And that was before you could make the $2.5 to $3 million that Thomas Houck will make if he returns to Florida. So, I mean, I think it would be an interesting decision. I don't think it's as cut and dry. And RJ knows the NBA in the draft way better than we do. But RJ, it seems like it's an incredibly deep draft coming up. Houck is probably borderline top 15, top 20 pick, which is great money. I would imagine certainly a first rounder, even if he slides a little bit. But if you've got the chance to earn $2.5, $3 more million playing college basketball, I would think if you love where you are and you're winning at the level you're winning at, that you might consider staying.
And I think that's what NIL has also brought into all this as well. I mean, yeah, you could be a top 15 to 20 pick, but it also is going to depend on the situation and where you're going. Are you going to get automatic minutes? Are you fighting with a guy? Is there a veteran piece that's coming? So you really don't know your future. If you decide to stay, I mean, you know what you're getting, $2 to $3 million. You're going to have your spot on the team and you're going to be playing significant minutes. And then if you decide that you want to go to the draft, you may go from being a top 15, top 20 pick to maybe going in the lottery. And that's an extra, $4 to $7 million to your name there. So a lot to think about now. But I think especially with the advent of NIL, it does make that decision, and at least in my opinion, a lot harder than it used to be.
I would be beyond shocked if Thomas Houck is in the Gator uniform next year. Beyond shocked. That's just, we'll see. I beyond shocked. But my opinion, similar to yours, I think and obviously Lee is a senior, but I think everybody else possibly coming back is on the table. I do believe that. If you asked me to guess and bet my money, I would bet that Condon and Houck are out, and that Chinyelu comes back, and that Hanlockton wins his case, and that Fland is back. So that if you asked me to bet, if I was really making a bet, betting my money, I would bet Condon and Houck to the NBA, Chinyelu test the waters. I don't know that he's going to be an NBA player, but I think he could really get paid next year. I mean, all those guys could. So my guess, if I'm guessing, Chinyelu makes everybody happy by coming back. Fland comes back, and Hanlockton, I'll bet, wins that thing. Certainly, he'll go deep in the hardship thing, and I don't think Condon and Houck are back. And I'd be shocked if Houck's back. I wouldn't be shocked if Condon's back because I wouldn't, because I think he's still a very borderline first rounder. I mean, it depends on what mock you look at.
And isn't this draft loaded?
Yeah.
Isn't it supposed to be like a very good year for the NBA draft?
Yeah, this is supposed to be a very good draft this year, although DeBanza is now throwing around the idea that he may come back for a second season, which I think you're absolutely nuts. If you want, I mean, you're a guaranteed top 3 pick in this year's draft.
He ain't coming back.
But, I mean, he's saying, you never know. I may decide to, stay in college one more year. But yeah, this is supposed to be a very, very deep draft with a couple of guys that are really supposed to change the trajectory of a lot of NBA franchises. Now, whoever goes to Sacramento, God bless you, is going to take a few more years than you just coming there. But that's what this draft is viewed as. That a lot of these guys in which you're going to get are going to be the reasons as to why the whole turnaround starts for your organization.
It'll be interesting to see. So, but one thing to keep an eye on here. Look, now, having said all that, let's enjoy now. Because it could be it's hard to think now after what we've seen that it won't be one heck of a run for these guys. It's hard now when you've seen the way they maul teams. And again, they're going to play again. I'll say it again. Last year they won the national championship and they barely survived the second round. So that's just the way it is. But it's harder than ever to win. But guys are they're going to be a hard team to beat. They're going to be an awfully hard team to beat. We'll take a break. More in a moment. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The PGA Tour beginning the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill in Florida. 19 of the top 20 golfers in the world are in the field, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, who's the betting favorite at plus 310. Rory McIlroy is at plus 1,000. Tommy Fleetwood plus 2,000. Matt Fitzpatrick at plus 2,200. Colin Morikawa plus 2,500. And Xander Schauffele also at plus 2,500 to win the tournament. The NASCAR Cup Series running the Straight Talk Wireless 500 on Sunday in Phoenix. Ryan Blaney, the betting favorite, at plus 500. William Byron plus 650. And Kyle Larson also plus 650.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keys2progress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
All right, Jack, so let's talk about it. Spring cleaning feels great until your drains remind you what they've been holding on to all winter. If your sink's burping, your shower's backing up, or your toilet's hesitating like it's reading a blitz, it's time to call in the pros. Call Duck Duck Rooter. During their spring drain cleaning promotion, get your drains cleaned plus a free camera inspection for just $129. Must have outside clean out, honest pricing, proven experience, no fourth quarter surprises. When you're stuck, call the Duck. That's 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
The Florida Forum welcomes world-renowned chef and humanitarian Jose Andres at the Center for Performing Arts March 31st. His impact spans the globe as founder of World Central Kitchen, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and global leader using food as a force for change. All proceeds for the Florida Forum benefit the Women's Board of Wilson Children's Hospital, supporting a new outdoor play area for behavioral health services. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
Frank Frangie here, and Big Chief Tire makes it easier than ever to get the tires you need with the Big Chief credit card. No annual fee, low monthly payments, and great promotional financing. Plus, you get free flat repairs and rotations, and right now, $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. I love how simple they make everything. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com to apply for the credit card and get the tires you need today. That's Big Chief Tire.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Sports fans, Max Fink here with 1010XL, and when I wanted to send flowers, the advice came fast. Use Kuhn flowers, they all said. Kuhn can handle anything for any situation. Well, I took that good advice. Kuhn flowers made it happen for me. KuhnFlowers.com.
Mark your calendar for Friday, April 17th at the Yards for the second annual Birdies and Bounces, presented by the Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation. This premier golf and pickleball tournament brings together competition, community, and purpose for an unforgettable day on the course and courts. Proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida, helping create great futures for local kids. Register or learn more at bgcnf.org and click events. Join us for a day of fun and impact for youth in our community.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
We sure appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons, the best fence company in all of Jacksonville, whether it's residential, whether it's commercial, whether it's overhead doors, bathroom partitions. They've got it all. They do so much good work. They've done so much work for us at our Bregan Baseball Complex and other places. Call them at 904-356-4821 or coiljacks.com. Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
I'm kind of looking forward to the Players, Rick. We're right around the corner from the Players Championship. Have you heard?
I have heard.
It's next week.
I have heard.
Very excited about the Players Championship.
Link 2 of the Florida Swing begins tomorrow morning over at Arnold's Place at Bay Hill.
Yeah.
And they'll get ready here for the Players coming up next week. Next week's one of the greatest weeks of the year, non-football related, with free agency, conference basketball tournaments, Players Championship. Okay.
Yeah.
Big week in the
NHL. Spring training, if you like it, but please go ahead.
In a big week in the NHL.
Well, no question.
Okay.
No question.
So we got all that.
So
it's a great time.
There's so much
going
on. Are the Bruins good?
They were actually projected this year to have the worst year that they've had in like 50 seasons.
Yeah.
They're playing much better than most expected. But this thing is going to be just wide open. I mean, Colorado record-wise is so difficult to beat, but, you know, we know what happens once you get to that 2-month marathon of the NHL playoffs. You need a hot goaltender, and you need to remain healthy. And, you know, I think you can honestly make a case 7 or 8 teams could win the cup this year.
Oh, wow. All right, very good. Great drama then. I love it. I love drama, Rick. Quick, 20 seconds. Scotty Scheffler, what kind of year is he going to have? Is he going to have another enormous year or no?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to win, 6 or 7 majors. I think he could win here next week. 6 or 7 PGA Tour tournaments.
I'm with you.
I'd say at a minimum 1 major, maybe 2. There's just so many good golfers right now, and we see it on a week-to-week basis. But The problem with Scheffler, if he just was a little bit better on Thursday.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at his Friday, Saturday, and
Right.
Sunday rounds.
Right.
He's absolutely spectacular. If he could just play mistake-free golf and even get in, a couple under par on Thursday, I think he'd be tough to beat once you get to the weekend.
Coming up tonight.
Well, we got a lot on the Jags. We got a lot on football. We'll remember Lou Holtz, who passed today at the age of 89. That was certainly had the experience of working not directly with Lou, but when I was at the Sporting News, a former Notre Dame head coach in Mr. Brennan was only in Notre Dame for a year, had Lou Holtz, and actually saw him across the street. He came in one time and did some radio at our station.
Yep.
And the last time that I think I saw Lou Holtz, Urban Meyer had him in. But what a great life and what an unbelievable character and really ambassador for the sport of college football.
No question. You're exactly right. Rick Beluga's in tonight. It comes up right now. That'll do it for our program. Thanks for being part of it. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Lee Smith in studio tomorrow as we get you ready for the players. I'm excited about that. We're out here. For Hayes and RJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.